showing you never recover. Holding it up will be tougher. The thought is fulfilling a label. It's fake though I know that you're able to see it, honey. I see you well. Older we walk, closure you're holding on tight when your life is on. Neither I don't wanna leave you alone. I'm talking my mind to some and on, recalling the exchanged words. The past is a world of retained hurt. You wonder the reason you changed for. Time will escape, you can be sure.
That's gonna be it for this section. In the next one, we can get started with our actual controllers. They are currently just hard-coded, they are a test. We would like to obviously communicate with our database where we can fetch them, create them, update and delete them. Okay, so with this in mind, I'll see you in the next section. Alright, so this is where we left. In the last section, we have connected to our database. Now we'll get started with the controllers that we have. So this is the very first one where we would like to get every single node. Currently, we don't really have anything in the database, so this should return something like an empty array, right? So let's first get started with the code and just see how we can create this controller. So first I'll mark this as async because we'll have some promises. So let's delete this part. I'll say try and catch block. Now in the try, we can just fetch every single node. I'll say const nodes and let's say await, import the node model that we have. Let's import it. Let's say from, just go under the, maybe just above, under the models and get this node.js. Once again, make sure to include the extension at the end. Now we will say node.find, which is going to give you every single node. If you wanted to fetch some specific ones, you can add this filter, but we basically want to get every single one of them. And then let's say as the response, we can send the status code of 200 and we can say JSON, just send the nodes. In the catch, that means the server failed, right? If we hit the catch block, we can say res.status of 500. This is something that we have told in the past. And we'll just say JSON for the message. We can say something like internal server error. And for debugging purposes, you can put the error in the console. So I'll say console.error. Let's say error and get all nodes method, or let's say controller, and then just put the error itself. Okay, let's try to test this out. Now we can send a GET request from our browser, right? You can visit /API/nodes, just send the request. We got a response of an empty array, right? And we can use something else in a desktop application called Postman, which is completely free to get started with. This is what I have. So I have already installed it. I'll just go ahead and get this. Okay, so it will start the application. Now, thanks to this application, we can send put request, post request, so on and so forth, right? So these are the things that I have done in the past. Let's create something new. Let's say send an HTTP request to our endpoint. Now we can copy our URL. Let's go right here. It'll be a GET request and then send the request. We got an An empty array. Now let's try to break something in our code.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done.
So here I'll just say find, I don't know, like find x, which is a method that we don't have. Is our application crashed? No, it didn't. Let's try to send the request. Okay, as you can tell, we got the message. Internal server error, the status code is equal to 500. Okay, so this is the controller. The next one, the other one that I'd like to create is going to be this one. So let's go ahead and delete the content and get started with it. And I'd like to mark all of these as async. Let's say async function. Now before we write any code, let's think about it. If user wants to create a node, they need to send a title as well as a content, right? Let's pretty quickly see this in action. So right here under the create page, if they want to create a node, they need to pass the title as well as the content. So how do we get these values from the user? So we'll go under the VS Code. Let's first get the try catch block. So let's say we'd like to grab the title, reach out the structure, let's say title and content. This is gonna be coming from request.body. But if you try to say console log the title and the body, by default this would be undefined. So to be able to use this in this should be content, by the way. Okay, so by default, you cannot access this value. If you want to access them, you need to head over to server.js, and just before your routes, you would say app.use express.json, which is a middleware that we add. So let's say middleware. Now we'll talk about the middleware in detail. For now, just know that this is something needed. Let's try to use it, and then I'll explain this on a diagram, I promise. Okay, so just make sure to add it before your routes. Now let's try to get these values.
Stay here so long, I can't feel time. This room is on fire. My heart's beating louder. Black keys, white keys, best friends understand. Talking about it, never hide anything. This room is on fire. My heart's beating louder. This room is on fire. My heart's beating louder.
And then I'll explain this on a diagram, I promise. Okay. Okay, so just make sure to add it before your routes. Now let's try to get these values where we'd like to create a node. I'll say const, let's say new node, and this is going to be our new node. We'll call the model where we'd like to add the title. Let's say it'll be equal to this, and then the content will be equal to the content that user passes. Since the key and value is the same thing, we can shorten this, and then let's try to save it to the database. So we just created it. We'll say await new node dot save, and then we can send the response. Let's say status is going to be equal to 201. Again, this is something that we have talked about previously. The response could be, let's say, I'll just add the message for now. Let's say node created successfully. And for the catch block, I'll do the exact same thing. So I'll copy paste, let's say error in create node controller. Okay, let's try to see this in action. We would like to send a post request, right? If you take a look at it, it is the post request. So let's go under the postman. I'll say post. Now we would like to send some
jumping out of your arms. I land and fall in the pit. Is this what they call the abyss? I fought and clawed for an inch, turning a miracle mile. I could recall when your lips used to contort into smiles. Bright as the sun, was drawn in eclipse. I haven't seen light in a while. Hasn't been bright in a while. Risk. Even niggas be mad at me. You don't wanna give me clarity. A testament to your character. On your birthday, you told me to donate money to charity. You want me to sincerity. And got cake like Sarah Lee. You tether me when my stress start burying me. You don't wanna take care of me. I'm so gone. In conclusion, foregone. Where a war zone is torn on. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready for your bed. I just want my head rub, I don't want a mixtape. I just want the best of, I just want to get grub from my spot again. But through the odds work in our favor, stay down, escape town. Head low and face down like a kennel greyhound. Doing God's work in the devil's playground. Risk. I never thought it'd be this. I'm jumping out of your arms. I land and fall in the pit. Is this what they call the abyss? I fought and clawed for an inch, turning a miracle mile. I could recall when your lips used to contort into smiles. Bright as the sun, it's drawn in eclipse. I haven't seen light in a while. Hasn't been bright in a while. Risk. Wish you pick up all my calls. I've been going through withdrawals, trying to take the edge off. I need Novocaine. I've been trying to stand tall. I hope that you stand with me. You know all the greats fall. Shit is all the same. Hot as napalm. Next day come the rain. Gotta stay calm. Press play. Put my heart in all of these songs. Display all of these wrongs. Yeah, part of me is gone. And you are a gift in itself, a measure of wealth, the meaning is selfless. I place you over the shelf and hide the pedestals over the belt, straddle the waist on rhymes constellate. Observation of you, here come the truth. I'm most overdue, stuck over you. I've gone under, living proof of God's wonders. Risk, I never thought it'd be this. I'm jumping out of your arms. I land and fall in the pit. Is this what they call the abyss? I fought and clawed for an inch, turning a miracle mile. I could recall when your lips used to contort into smiles. Bright as the sun, it's drawn in eclipse. I haven't seen light in a while. Hasn't been bright in a while.
Somebody, let's select, okay, so first the very had it by default, right? So you don't really need to view this. It is coming from right here. This would so fix this. We have created a node. If we send a request that we have, so we just have some created message first, and we can return this as the something optional, but I think content actually.
AI is changing the game for app development. Firebase is here to help. Easily build AI-powered experiences into your web and mobile apps with speed and safety. Then launch, monitor, and iterate with AI-assistive tools that help you optimize your app's quality and experience. Firebase helps you run your app with confidence, deliver the best experience for your users, and get to market quickly and securely, doing what you love. Make your app the best it can be with Firebase.
Del árbol a la mesa, ese es mi lema. Y el creador de páginas web de Hostinger me ayudó a conseguirlo. Después
Node. So let's say I want to update this one where I'd like to update the content. So I would create a put request. Here do it content one will give us some of the request data. Await pass the ID. Here you can tell it says the very first thing that you need to pass will be the ID. But how do we get the ID from the URL?
Está al frente tuyo, aún así no la ves. Tal vez te cegó por ser brillante. Cada vez brilla más y más y más. Te va a encantar, te va a encontrar. Está dentro tuyo, ahora qué vas a hacer. Prueba otra vez, una y otra vez. Cada vez quieres más y más y más. Te va a encantar, te va a encontrar. Todo es imperfecto, me
trabajo es, todo es similar, simetrías, te va a encantar, debo encontrar una razón para que se mueva mi corazón, debo encontrar un motivo para bailar.
URL, right? How do we know this is the ID that called? We have passes and pass the content itself. Successfully, we can say res.status. Let's say error and output happen. Or maybe first let's try to add the title. I'll not change the title. Let's add a comma right here. Send the request. Not updated successfully. Comma right here first. And in the catch, I'll go ahead. Let's bring this back, and I will as well as this view up. Okay, so I'll try to is well 100 is a success, and for the JSON we can say message, save and give it a go. Let's see, it is third just before we send the response. Here I'll say const updated node. Now I'll say if updated node is not found, right? Let's say updated node if this is equal to a false value. We would like to say return out of this function with the status code of 404, which means not found, and then I'll say JSON. We can send a message such as node not found. And there is one more thing. Once you update something, at the end you would like to add this option called new equal to true. Now this is optional, but let's say, and if you hover over this, just read it out loud, you will understand what that does. Basically, I'll try to summarize it. Once you add this, it'll give you the new node with the updated fields. I hope that makes sense. And then now let's try to save and send the request with an invalid ID. So this is the previous one. Now let's put 45, which is something that we don't have in the database. Okay, node not found, we got 404, nothing has been updated in the database. Let's bring this back. Let's say updated content 123. Since we have the node, we can update it successfully. And instead of returning this message, I will send the updated node in the response. Okay, so I'll try to update it once again to this content. Okay, so this is the response that we got. Now you might be asking, do I have to add the title as well as the content? So let's try to delete one of them. So I just deleted the title. I'll say updated content 123, send the request. Now as you can tell, title has not changed. This is what we had previously. Let's try to refresh the database.
Super cute.
Estas cosas pasan. Probarán todo, hasta los gérmenes. Cuenta con enterogermina, el probiótico con inter y esporas que llegan vivas al intestino y se multiplican restaurando la flora intestinal. Porque estas cosas, pasan.
And take a look at the title as well as the content, so it'll only update what you have passed. In this case, we only passed the content, so it has been updated only. Okay, then we are going to add the very last controller where we can delete it. So maybe you can pause the video and try to build it by yourself. It'll be similar to this one that we have built. For the method, we have something like find by ID and delete. Okay, so just pause the video and try to do so. Then we can watch my solution. So I will say await node.find by ID and delete. How do we know which node will build? So here I'll say that node. Let's say here. Else we can say res.json. You can either like you can either return this one or a message such as node deleted successfully. And if you don't send a status, by default it'll be 200. So let's try to see this in action. In the catch, we can copy and paste this one. It's pretty classic. We'll just say error in delete node controller. Okay, so let's try to delete the third node. I'll get the ID. Send the delete request. We don't really need to send a body. I'll say none. Send the request. It has been deleted successfully. And here we can see we got the 200 by default, even if we didn't have.
Hay veces que tus pies son raíz. Hay que quemar las alas, bailar alrededor de las llamas. Hay melodías dentro de ti. Hay veces que tus pies son raíz. Hay que quemar las alas, bailar alrededor de las llamas.
That's it.
Gracias, Paola Navarrete. Felicitaciones por haber sido tan valiente y haber llegado al final del video. Por tu valentía y amor a la música, puedes suscribirte al canal aquí. Y si es que quieres ver más sesiones de artistas increíbles de la escena, solo tienes que hacer clic aquí.